आता भारत वितर्क पक्ष विषयाचे सादरीकरण करेल. माननीय पंतप्रधान निधी दुगानी यांना विनंती आहे की त्यांनी आपला विषय सादर करावा.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chairperson, Ministers and citizens of the country. Myself, Nidhi Dugani, Prime Minister of Bharat Vitarka Party. Today I am here to solve some problems and introduce some resolutions of our government regarding parking issues in urban India. Before coming to the point, let's take a peep into the past. Route is essential for traveling. In past, there was a silk route which is considered as the oldest trade route in today's India. It was a network of Eurasian trade routes. It was spanning over 6,400 kilometers. At that time, walking was the only means of traveling. Further, the wheel was invented and then the bullock carts. Day by day, there were new inventions and developments. Later, vehicles like motorcycle, car, auto rickshaws, trucks were invented. In 19th century, these vehicles were produced and purchased on small scales. Many people wished to purchase vehicles, but they were financially weak. In the family, only man used to earn and the woman used to look after home and children. But as the people were developing, women started taking education and become financially independent. Therefore, nowadays, owning a car is not a rocket science. Loans are also easily available at banks. Because a man and woman both are earning, the financial background is much stronger than before. Now each family is owning at least 2 vehicles. So let us come towards our point. Basically, parking means the action of leaving a vehicle somewhere for some time. A large area is needed for parking spaces, but from some years there is lack of open spaces in cities. That's why vehicle parking is a major problem in urban areas in both developed and developing countries. Following the rapid increase of car ownership, many cities are suffering from lacking of car as well as heavy vehicles parking areas with imbalance between parking supply and demand, which can be considered the initial reason for metropolis parking problems. Shortage of parking space and traffic congestion due to visitors in search for parking place are only a few examples of everyday parking problems. In major cities, as the development goes on, the parking generation rate increases rapidly, which leads to major parking problem. With rapid growth of metro cities, the parking generation rate goes on increasing very quickly, which creates major problems of parking in most of the urban areas. In the recent years, with the rapid development of economy and exorbitant increase in the motor vehicles, parking problems in urban areas of metro cities have become increasingly prominent. As far as India concerned, as per the census 2021, total population of India is 139 crore, which is second highest of world population. Out of this, total urban population is about 49.32 crores, which is near about 50%. In such condition, the problem of parking has not been given due importance. Mass transportation systems termed as public transport can commute a larger number of passengers from origin to destination, like residence to office, market, etc., are generally ignored or do not provide regular, frequent, safe, and adequate quality of service. Just because of this, people are relying on the private vehicles, which in turn leads to the extreme traffic congestion and shortage in parking areas. With the preparation of a comprehensive traffic and transportation plan for the city, along with the appropriate locating of land uses on the master plan, these problems can be addressed. According to a study by the Center for Science and Environment, that is CSE, an Indian car is parked for over 95% of the time and is driven for less than 5%. The survey was done over a year-long period. On an average, a car spends 8,360 hours standing and is only driven for 400 hours in a year. The study also highlighted a high waste of land usage due to extremely high demand for parking in urban areas. Cars or two-wheelers amount to 85% of parking space usage, but provide for only 4 to 15% of travel demand. In contrast, buses account for 4 to 5% of parking but carry 20 times more passengers than cars. Parking charges are also one of the reasons why car ownership could get difficult. Across the world, India has one of the cheapest parking rates. Increasing parking rates could deter users from buying more cars, according to the CSE. A parking space utilizes space equivalent to a low-cost home for the economically weak sections. This results in lower taxes as well as takes away land for community infrastructure such as schools, healthcare centers, old age homes, etc. Parking management can be defined in a broad sense that it is an effective tool for the local government which helps in reduction of single occupant vehicles and encourages the mass transportation facilities termed as public transport to influence the other aspects of parking supply and demand. We have to develop those places which are under authentic parking zones for the better parking supply and provide the possible way of parking for those places too which are under the tag of non-parking zones. People prefer to own vehicles because of ownership of a vehicle can offer an unmatched combination of speed, autonomy and privacy. But the fact is that there is no private vehicle is perpetually in motion. Most private vehicles spend most of their time at rest, either during working hours or over the night. This means that there should be two places for every car in the city to be parked in. The two places should be at both the ends of every trip. The imbalance between parking supply and parking demand has been considered as the main reason for metropolis parking problems. Moreover, the parking system plays a key role in the metropolitan traffic system and lacking of it shows close relation with traffic congestion, traffic accident and environmental pollution. Although efficient parking system can improve urban transportation and city environment besides raising the quality of life for citizens, parking problem is an often overlooked aspect of urban planning and transportation. The parking demand is directly related to the land use of a particular area. It is common that commercial area having large number of offices will require large space for the parking because the people coming in the offices by private vehicle park their vehicle throughout the day and also the extra space for visitors. The area having marketplace having fluctuating demand throughout the day depending upon the requirement of the visitors. The demand for parking at weekend will be higher compared to weekdays. Parking problem in cities and urban areas means actually that there is a gap between parking number of cars in need for parking spaces and number of parking spaces sufficient to cars in need to park. This gap is due to several reasons. First, most of old and historical cities, especially the capitals, have been planned with narrow streets where there were no cars but cars moved by horses. Also, population densities of these cities at that time were not so high comparing with the current densities of the same cities and of the same areas. The number of vehicles are increasing day by day along with the population, but area of land remains constant. Parking on the road, parking above bridges and under bridges, parking on both sides of the road is a common problem that causes inconvenience to the traffic. The narrowing of the roads, excessive pressure on the road, and lack of proper management of traffic is becoming a big problem today. In this digital era, everybody is in a hurry. Time is valuable and everyone is trying to make the most of it. Saving time means traveling faster, and to travel fast, people rely on their private vehicles. This is the main reason behind the rapid increase in the number of vehicles. With more and more vehicles hitting on the roads, there are two big challenges in front of us: traffic congestion and lack of parking space. Most cities propose increasing parking spaces to combat the problem. Parks and vacant plots are used as potential parking spaces, and multi level facilities are being built irrespective of the limited land space and resources. An unregulated tariff structure leads to a scarcity of parking spaces. In Indian metros, parking is either free or minimally priced, the fees being unregulated for many years now. Parking space is a scarce commodity today and should come with a price. The best way to manage the parking is by charging the right price for it. This can be done by using demand to price parking and optimize occupancy. If the price is too high and spaces remain vacant, operators lose revenue. Nearby shops lose customers, employees lose jobs, and governments lose tax revenue. If the price is too low and no spaces are available, it leads to traffic congestion and chaos. Pricing can thus be one of the effective tools for the management of travel demand as a whole. With the rapid growth of the economy, owning a car is not a big deal, but finding a parking spot has become a treasure hunt. Everybody wants to drive their car, and it is this mindset that has caused the parking space crisis. But each problem has solution. Like that, these problems too have solution. First solution is efficient public transportation. An efficient and flawless public transport system will play a key role in reducing the vehicles on the roads. If the public transport of a city is good, then automatically people will ditch the private vehicles. Public transport is economical and it plays a huge role in reducing traffic congestion and carbon emissions. Second is certificate of availability of space for parking. While buying a vehicle, it should be mandatory for buyers to produce an availability of parking space certificate before they get vehicles registered. Carpooling is also one of the fitting solution to solve this problem. There are many parking strategies. Some of them are off-site multi-story parking, on-site parking, on-street parking. For the parking, currently, there are many existing rules. Some of them are do not abandon or park your vehicle at a public place where it may cause obstruction, inconvenience, or puts other people in danger. Ensure that you are parking your vehicle according to the road signs or markings, if there are any, that indicates the manner of parking. It's our huge responsibility towards parking. Every driver of a motor vehicle parking on any road shall park in a such way that it does not cause or is not likely to cause any obstruction or undue inconvenience to other road users. According to the section 122 of the Motor Vehicles Act 1988 is as below. A person shouldn't leave his or her vehicle in a dangerous position. At last, I would like to tell all the persons listening to me that follow traffic rules, try to minimize the use of private vehicles and maximize the use of public transport, which will be a preventive measure to overcome the parking problems in urban India. Thank you. Jai Hind.
यानंतर प्रश्नोत्तरांची वेळ सुरू होत आहे. पक्षाच्या नावाची घोषणा केल्यानंतर त्याच पक्षाच्या प्रतिनिधीने आपला प्रश्न विचारावा. प्रोग्रेसिव्ह इंडिया पक्ष,
Good morning. I'm Rishikesh Nayam. Unlike other topics, more parking won't do a very returning investment if you made more of it.
ओके. इंडियन कॅटलिस्ट पक्ष,
तुमचं बजेट काय व ते तुम्ही कसे यूज कराल?
ओके. जागृत भारत पक्ष,
माननीय पंतप्रधान, माझा तुम्हाला असा प्रश्न आहे की आजकाल लोक सेपरेटली राहतात, तर सेपरेटली लोक गाड्या स्वतःला प्रिफर करतात, तर या वाढणाऱ्या गाड्यांच्या नंबरला तुम्ही आळा कसा घालाल?
ओके. इंडियन लिबरल पक्ष,
Respected Prime Minister, I would like to ask that many parking places are occupied by cars and two-wheelers which are not used for long time. So have you thought anything about this issue? Like what would you do of rusted vehicles and why not you are taking any actions on them?
ओके. विजडम इंडिया पक्ष,
So respected PM, myself Aditya Hange, and my question is that even though you are tolling the cars and bikes which are on the non-parking areas, but even though they are parking over there, so how you can tackle this problem?
ओके. सर्वांचे प्रश्न विचारून झाले आहेत. माननीय पंतप्रधानांनी उत्तरे द्यावीत अशी मी त्यांना विनंती करते.
So the second question was of budget. For the current year, the budget is 16,000 crores. Nextly, the question was asked, what would you do for the rested vehicles? There will be auction after 2 years if the vehicle is rested for more than 2 years. Rested vehicles will be in the scraps, and unattended vehicles will be, there will be auction for that. And also one more question was that how will you reduce the number of vehicles? This answer was given in the speech, but I will repeat it. There will be public transport facilities, flawless public transport facilities, and it will be mandatory for the buyers who will buy vehicles. A fixed parking availability certificate should be shown by them before registering any vehicles. First question, will you please repeat your question?
So I will rephrase the question. All the topics that we discussed till now, they all mentioned upgrading it. So in this case, if you manage to upgrade the parking system, like creating more parking lots and all, the invested money, it doesn't have that much scope for returns.
उत्तर द्यायची वेळ संपलेली आहे. माननीय पंतप्रधानांची उत्तरे देऊन झाली आहेत. आता ज्यांनी प्रश्न विचारले आहेत त्या 5 खासदारांनी कृपया उभे राहावे. एकत्रित चर्चेसाठी 3 मिनिटांचा कालावधी देण्यात येत आहे. कृपया चर्चेस सुरुवात करावी.
Respected PM, means you didn't answer my question.
Okay.
My question was that even though you're tolling the bikes and the cars which are on the non-parking areas, but even though they're parking at those areas, so how you can tackle this problem?
We will address that in our policy, and it was also mentioned in our speech.
Where? I didn't recognize it. I have listened it very carefully.
Okay. Resolution. Till now we haven't passed a resolution. Afterwards we are going to pass our resolution. It has a solution in that.
Okay, I request you to answer all the questions.
माननीय पंतप्रधान, आय थिंक तुम्हाला माझा क्वेश्चन कळाला नाही. लोकांची तुम्ही मेंटॅलिटी कशी चेंज करणार प्रायव्हेट व्हेकल न घेण्याची? कारण लोक सध्या काय विचार करतात की आपली आपली गाडी असली की वेळ वाचतो, कधी पण तिला हे करता येतं, वापरता येतं. तसं बससाठी थांबावं लागतं, वेट करावं लागतं, त्याप्रमाणे.
This could be by upgrading the public transport facility. This could help this, and also if the fines are increased, if a person parks in no parking zone and fines are increased, they will stop breaking rules and stop parking in no parking zones.
Yeah, you didn't answer my question.
Can you please repeat your question?
Unlike other topics, upgrading parking is not, I think that promises returns. So what do you think about that?
It's not always about returns. For example, while we are making insurances, we don't expect returns every time.
Okay, but you also mentioned upgrading public transports, but the reliability of it is not that sure. So how will you tackle that?
Can you please explain your question more briefly?
Like the reliability of public transports, even if you upgrade it, it is not that sure of a thing.
We are still upgrading. We are working on upgrading these.
But nothing can be perfect, na?
After upgrading that, it can be perfect.
तुम्ही
माननीय पंतप्रधान, आम्ही असं नाही म्हणलेलं की लोक नो पार्किंगमध्येच गाड्या लावणार. आम्ही म्हणले की ते प्रायव्हेट गाड्यांना कसं मेंटॅलिटी चेंज करतील.
We just told that it will be mandatory for the buyers that they should show parking availability certificate before they buy the vehicles, and if they don't have,
कृपया आपली चर्चा 30 सेकंदांमध्ये पूर्ण करावी.
okay, thank you. If they don't have the place, then it could deter them from buying vehicles.
तुम्ही तुमचे बजेटचे बायफर्गेशन कसे कराल व कुठं कुठून कराल?
So total budget is 16,000 crores and it will be used for smart city project. It will be explained more briefly in our resolution.
परंतु पार्किंगला जागा असेल तरी तुम्हाला पब्लिक ट्रान्सपोर्ट वापरा म्हणताय ना तुम्ही. मग तशी मेंटॅलिटी कशी चेंज करणार?
Okay.
चर्चेची वेळ समाप्त झाली आहे. आता सत्ताधारी पक्षाने आपला ठराव सदनासमोर मांडावा.
To solve,
कृपया शांतता राखावी.
to solve the issue of parking in urban India, we are going to introduce some innovative measures. First, earlier fines were collected when anyone used to break laws, but it hasn't done any good in making citizens socially responsible and develop civic sense in them. Hence, I propose to introduce an innovative way to make lawbreakers pay. A first-time offender has to do compulsory 3 to 8 hours of social work depending upon the severity of rule break. Second time 6 to 12 hours and so on. A detailed framework regarding the same will be issued soon. Further, I propose to make no parking zones as parking zones on weekends in marketplaces and other crowded area to ease the traffic congestion and help citizens find parking space. Further extension to our smart city project, I would request our honorable finance minister to allocate funds of rupees 600 crore in addition to current budget of rupees 16,000 crores, which will be utilized to rent out near marketplaces and crowded area, helping citizens to find easy parking spaces and ease traffic congestion in smart cities. So I would request all the people listening me to vote and help this resolution come in application. Thank you.
पंतप्रधानांनी मांडलेल्या ठरावावरील मतदानासाठीची वेळ आता सुरू होत आहे. ठराव 3 विरुद्ध 20 मताने नामंजूर करण्यात आला आहे असे आम्ही जाहीर करतो. माननीय सभापतींना मी विनंती करते की त्यांनी सत्ताधारी पक्षाने मांडलेल्या विषयाबद्दल मार्गदर्शन करावे व या सत्राविषयी आपले मनोगत व्यक्त करावे.
प्रथम पार्किंगच्या विषयाबद्दल 2 मिनटं. हा सगळ्यांना भेडसावणारा मुद्दा आहे आणि मला वाटतं त्यातला जो अभ्यास प्रस्तावाच्या आधी नमूद करण्यात आला तो खूप महत्त्वाचा होता की कुठलंही वाहन 2 तास चालवलं जातं, 22 तास उभं केलं जातं. सो रस्त्याला जेवढी जागा पाहिजे त्याच्या 10 पट जागा पार्किंगसाठी पाहिजे, कारण तेवढा वेळ तिथे लागतो. आपण असं बघतो की रस्त्याची जी सगळी लांबी आहे त्याच्यात दोन्ही बाजूनी जर गाड्या पार्क होत गेल्या तर जसं हृदयाकडे जाणाऱ्या रोहिणीमध्ये दोन्ही बाजूनी प्लाक जमत गेला तर हृदयविकाराचा झटका येतो, तसंच ह्या पार्किंगच्या प्रश्नामुळे आपल्याला सगळ्यांना ट्रॅफिक जॅमचा रोग त्याचा सामना करावा लागतो. पण हे खूप चांगल्या पद्धतीने त्यांनी सांगितलं. पार्किंगचे चार्जेस आपल्याकडे सगळ्यात कमी आहेत. पार्किंगचे चार्जेस म्हणजे बहुतेकांना रस्त्याच्या बाजूला फुकटामध्ये पार्किंग करायचा हक्क आहे असं वाटत असतं आणि बऱ्याच वेळा पे अँड पार्क ची योजना आणली जाते, ती हाणून पाडली जाते आणि त्याला चार्जेस जे लावले जातात ते सुद्धा 5 रुपये 10 रुपये अशा प्रकारचे असतात की जे आपण इतर देशांची तुलना केली तर तिथे पार्किंगचे चार्जेस खूप जास्त आहेत. तिथे पब्लिक ट्रान्सपोर्टची सुविधा आहे. पब्लिक ट्रान्सपोर्टची सुविधा असून ज्यांना गाडी वापरायची आहे त्यांनी जास्त पार्किंग चार्जेस भरायला पाहिजेत किंवा शहराचे वेगवेगळे जे कंजेशन झोन आहेत तिथे जास्त खर्च करून मग तिथे गाडी आणली पाहिजे, अशा प्रकारचे नियम आहेत. आपल्याकडे हळूहळू ते येत जातील अशी मला खात्री वाटते. आज आपण पहिल्याच टप्प्यावर असे आहोत की स्वतःचं वाहन असणं हा प्रतिष्ठेचा आणि स्वातंत्र्याचा भाग आहे. पुण्यातले एक उद्योगपती आहेत, त्यांच्या आत्मचरित्रात त्यांच्या पहिल्या मोटरसायकल बरोबर त्यांचा स्वतःचा फोटो त्यांनी दिलेला आहे की हे स्वातंत्र्य मला कसं मिळालं. तर हा एक प्रत्येकाच्या आयुष्यातला एक मोठा टप्पा असतो, मोठ्या कौतुकाचा भाग असतो. पण त्यानंतर हळूहळू समाजापुढचे प्रश्न, शहरातले प्रश्न, शहरीकरणाचे प्रश्न हे समोर येत जातात आणि एका बाजूला पब्लिक ट्रान्सपोर्ट सुधारणं, दुसऱ्या बाजूला पार्किंगचे चार्जेस वाढवणं आणि मोफत पार्किंग करण्याची सुविधा कमी करत जाणं हा त्यातला भाग मला वाटतं प्रश्नाचा जो उहापोह केला गेला तो चांगला होता. त्याच्याविषयीचं जे धोरण होतं त्याच्यात अर्थातच मी अशी अपेक्षा करणार नाही की आज आपल्या वयात, कारण मोठे मोठे सुद्धा लोक थकलेले आहेत ह्या प्रश्नाचं उत्तर काढताना, तर त्यामुळे तो प्रस्ताव अगदी बरोबर देता येईल असं नाही. पण कार मालकांसाठी कार सेवा हा एक नाविन्यपूर्ण तुम्ही उपाय त्याच्यात सांगितला की तुझी गाडी घेतलेली आहे तर 1 तास समाजासाठी काम कर, व्हॉलंटिअर म्हणून काम कर. असं करायला लागलं तर नक्कीच तर तो खूप चांगला नाविन्यपूर्ण तुमचा उपाय होता.